everybody. I hope you had a great day. It is my favorite time of day, our evening reflection. Bear with me, I'm a bit tired tonight, so hopefully this one goes well. We are focusing on the concept of happiness, which on the surface seems very simple. And it's one of those emotions where it's one of the very first emotions that we teach when we're talking with children. What's the opposite of happy? Sad. What's the opposite of hot? Cold. It's just one of those things. Like, we know that the opposite of sad is happy, and it's one of those emotions that we see quite often in young children. They're just pure expressive joy in the world. But as we get older and as we move through life and things happen, happiness still seems simple on the surface, but then when you are faced with the question, are you happy? It almost hits you in the face sometimes, and you wonder, well, am I? And do I know what happiness even is anymore? And I think the problem with happiness sometimes is that we expect happiness to be something it's not. We expect happiness to be euphoria, or we expect happiness to be this extravagant joy. And things like euphoria and extravagant joy are truly meant for these extravagant circumstances. Happiness is a milder emotion, and oftentimes it can be more in line with just being content. So I kind of wanted to reflect tonight on what it means to be truly happy in our life, and see if we can kind of get back to a baseline where we are, and if we can truly seek that happiness and that daily joy in our everyday life. Because once we can bring that back, we can bring that daily happiness into our life, I think we'll find that overall we tend to feel better about our circumstances, and better about ourselves, and better about our relationships, and just better about life in general. So that's our focus for tonight. So if you want to, go ahead and get settled in your comfortable seated position, or if you like laying down, go ahead and lay down. And we'll just get started by first focusing on our breath. It's easier to be much more receptive to these messages and really get deeper into thought if we first focus the mind on the breath, and then unite the mind, the body, and the breath as one. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. And first we'll just acknowledge the breath, just asking ourselves, where is my breath this evening? Is it quick? Is it shallow? Is it strained? Am I finding it difficult to get a deep, even pace? Am I feeling any strain, any pause, any disconnect? And slowly, as we just allow ourselves to just honor and accept the breath as it is, we might just be able to harness it a bit more and add a bit more control. We might be able to breathe a little bit deeper, getting the breath to leave the nose and the throat and go into the chest. Maybe we can get that breath to fill the belly, and maybe deeper to the diaphragm. Really inviting the oxygen into the mind and body, cleansing the body, bringing with it a sense of peace, a sense of calm, a sense of clarity. And with each exhale, letting it take away any stress, any worry, any negativity. And just taking a few moments to really reflect on how cleansing and relaxing the breath itself can be. Sometimes when we just give ourselves pause, we just give ourselves time to relax and focus on the breath, we can bring ourselves back to a calm, relaxed state of being. Let's see if we can take 3 more deep breaths in and out, in and out, and 1 more deep breath in and deep breath out, and connecting with our heartbeat. And we'll try and continue with that even pace of breath, keeping the mind and body calm and relaxed. And we'll bring our hands back down to the knees, and either opening the eyes or keeping the gaze cast downward, we'll go ahead and once again bring our attention to the thought, I am happy. And let's say that again together, I am happy. And again, this might be one of those things where your brain goes, well, I'm not. I don't believe you. I'm not happy. And this is going to be one of those meditations that turns into a manifestation. If we manifest that thought, I am happy, we're going to end up bringing that energy into our life and living it out. So let's go ahead and begin delving deeper into the thought, I am happy. Sometimes the concept of happiness seems so foreign and elusive. It seems intimidating and often just out of reach. But I know that happiness is always accessible. And sometimes I'm curious, does the idea of happiness sometimes feel so far-fetched? Because I often misinterpret being happy as having everything just so. So often when I find myself feeling unhappy or dissatisfied in some way, it becomes apparent that I am fixating on one aspect or one fault. I become so enraptured with what is wrong that I fail to see all that is right. It is only natural to have good days and bad days, moments of joy and moments of sorrow. But I know that happiness doesn't have to be a permanent state of being, although that is, of course, something to aspire to. I often remind myself that happiness can be found in the smallest of moments. Wherever I can, I strive to actively seek and hopefully find joy and comfort in the moment. Sometimes I feel it can be easy to forget what true happiness feels like. Sometimes I ask myself, do I even know what happiness is? Am I confusing it for something else? Am I asking it to be something it is not? Often I find that many of us are confusing happiness with elation, and we're discounting contentedness as a form of being happy. If I take a minute to describe moments in my life where I experienced happiness, I find that often by default, I resort to the big things like marriage, the birth of my children, or finally achieving a huge accomplishment. But what about those smaller victories? The ones I experience each day. The warm cup of coffee, my child's hand in my own as I walk through the park, the sight of sunbeams filtering through the greenery of the trees, a rainbow, a compliment from a stranger, reading a good book or taking a bubble bath, the sound of laughter. These are things that momentarily invite joy into my life almost daily. When I seem to forget where happiness lies, and I begin to express dissatisfaction with daily life, or describe it as lacking joy, I tell myself, tell me something that brought a smile to my face or warmth to my heart recently. Chances are, if I think about it long enough, I can come up with quite a few. I know happiness is a fleeting emotion, as is sorrow, as is rage, as is boredom. Emotions pass in conjunction with moments, and sometimes I wonder, am I putting too much emphasis on chasing euphoria and forgetting the joy that can come with simply being content. I am happy. Bring our hands back to our heart and connect with the heartbeat. Feel the gentle rhythm of the breath continue to flow through the body, keeping the mind and body in a place of peace and rest. Invite into your mind's eye the images of happiness that come to mind. Those little things in your life that spark joy and warmth. Hold those close to heart and know that every day there are moments of happiness to experience. And none of them, no matter how small, should ever be discounted. And let us take in 2 more deep breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And once again, let us end with I am happy. I love you all, and I'm wishing you a beautiful night.